family, a woman who claimed her name is Joy, who said she was pastored by Abraham Daniel, narrated her own side of the story about what she knows about Abraham Daniel. She says so many things that Daniel has done, scamming people, doing many sell land, changing accommodations, owing her money, doing many crazy things. I'm not the one, man. She said she joined the church 2013 or so, and then she had never met Dr. Paul Enenche, but she knows Abraham Daniel because he happens to be the pastor she encountered during her time. So she explained what she experienced under him, or what she knows in details about Abraham Daniel while he was in Dunamis church. Watch the video.
My name is Joy. I'm making this video concerning a video that's been on social media for some days now concerning an ex-pastor, Pastor Abraham Daniels of Dunamis Church. So many of my friends have been sending me a lot of interviews that have been going on the social media. And I'm here to address this because Pastor Abraham and myself and his family were so close as of that period where he pastored Dunamis Church New Carroll. I joined Dunamis New Carroll in 2013. I've never met Pastor Paul Enenche before, so this interview or what I'm saying now is not the response of Dunamis Church to what Pastor Abraham did. I made a comment on one of the videos that he's a Christian, that he defamed people, and so many people were calling on me that I should make a video if I know anything about him, because some people even insulted me that we are trying to cover up for the church. I'm not covering up for any church. I'm trying to tell you people what I knew about Pastor Abraham Daniels. When he came to the church in 2014, early 2014, the first rumor that was in the church was because he came from the media unit, and so many people said he was not matured enough to head a branch, so he was not supposed to be there. So the first move he made was selling the portion of land that we're using for our foundation class that was bought under Abraham Kolawole. I knew when we were buying that land, Abraham Kolawole sold his car to add to the money to acquire that land, because the land came up and it was a beautiful land. We just needed it because it was so close to the church in a strategic point, a very beautiful big land. And so Pastor Abraham Kolawole bought that land. Abraham came and sold that land and then went as far down Adokasa, very interior of Karo, and he bought a land in a swampy area. And so later he came up and said he wanted to start a school, and people were like, you knew you wanted to start a school, you sold a land that was big enough for a school and a church. There's this small land close to the former church now that we're using for the children classes. We were renting it from a landlady. So he said he wanted to build a temporary school. Document was an issue because he doesn't have the certificate to run it. And so they used a certificate of a brother, I think Bro Michael, to get an approval, and then they built a temporary school on that land. So there was a board of members that was set up to discuss the school fees payment plan and all, and how to make it cheaper or affordable for some family members of the church to attend. They started increasing the school fees of that school. Every term, school fees was increased. The form, people could not even afford it. The wife was in charge of uniforms. The wife was in charge of books. The school even had a kitchen that people could buy food from, church members and the students. It got to a time that I think that kitchen now became part of Abraham Daniel and his family's kitchen. That was where they were like eating everything from, although they're in the vineyard so they could eat, but then it wasn't now looking like a business anymore. There was one complaint or the other. So Some of the teachers were complaining they were increasing school fees and they were not paying them. So there was a day we came to church for a midweek service. The teachers were protesting, and so they blocked the entrance of the church. We couldn't get into the church to do our service. In one way or the other, somebody was able to call head office, and then it got to Dr. Paul Enenche. Pastor now called the head of teachers and told them he's going to pay them their money. They should please permit us to hold our service. That was how the church was opened that day, for us to have our service. And then they sent their payment slip to the head office, and then the head office now paid them their money. And so when a thing like that came up, they now called him back to head office so that they could investigate what was happening, what happened that they were not paid. Because I think that opened the room for so many people to have the opportunity to talk to Dr. Paul Enenche or to talk to somebody in the head office. Because all this while, their complaint was you cannot get through to Dr. Paul Enenche or Pastor Paul Enenche because of the way he was so close to them. According to one of the men that I spoke with the last time, I said, if you want to meet Paul Enenche, you go corner us, we no go fit meet him. During his days of pastorship in that branch, anytime you come to the office, because I always visit the wife in the office, anytime you come to the office, is either you see one person, a plumber complaining of he worked, they did not pay him, or a carpenter complaining of he worked, they did not pay him, or a tiler that came to do one renovation in the church, one thing or the other, they did not pay him. And then some of them will even complain, like one of the tiler that came to tile my house. He told me that this money where you pay me now, if I carry and go madam side, they go first comot the tithe inside the money first before they go carry my payment money give me, because they were the one that connected the tiler to me to tile my house as of that time that I built my house. So I was like, it's you people's business. You people discussed the business, so there's no way I could get involved in that. So many issues were coming up. Within that period, he changed his car more than 4 times. He was changing accommodation from one accommodation to another. I could remember vividly the accommodation I could remember he changed within the period of 2014 to 2018 was up to 3 accommodation. I think it was the 3rd one that he was robbed. Personally, he's owing me 150,000 up till today. The wife called me one day when they were having this sons and daughters conference. Yeah, sons and daughters conference at Area 1. I've forgotten the year. I think 2016 or 2017. So she told me the accountant was not around, if I could just help her with some money so that they could be able to settle up the church part of church tithe when they get to the head office, that they were having difficulty. So I went to the bank, withdrew 150,000 and gave it to them. Far back then, I know how big that money was as of that time. Up till this present moment, Pastor Abraham Daniel and his wife, they've not given me back my money. I tried collecting my money from them several times. It was becoming a problem. I left them for some period, and when I came back, they gave me 20,000. It was remaining 130,000. I couldn't get my money back from them. Then I sent some Air Force guys to go and get my money. And so when they got there, they called me that he said he doesn't have the money. So they're going to pick his television and the generator and give it to me, so that if I sell it, I'll be able to have little part of the money. And I was like, I have those things already, so there's no need. Secondly, I was hearing the children crying at the background. So I was like, just leave them. I will look for another means to get my money. But then I couldn't even report them to the police. One, they are pastors. And secondly, I gave them the money cash, not with transfer. There's a scam that he scammed the church members that almost everybody was angry about it. There is this Zita or Zina grant that came that 2017-2018 period, that a group of churches in Europe wanted to give grants to some Christians in Nigeria to start an agricultural business. If you're into poultry, if you're into farming, if you're into fishery, that you'll be given grants. So the wife called me when I was in the airport that they were sending the form for her from Lagos. I collected the form from the airport. and then brought the form to the office. They reprinted that form and they were selling it out to people. They made people to buy that form. In fact, there's a way they said if you buy more of the form, it will give you chances of being picked, maybe in a manager position, in a secretary position. So the more of the form you buy, the more of your chances of getting picked to get the grant. They made it in such a way that they organized a training in the church. Like for 3 days, people were coming to church to be trained for the grants of what to say, what to write, how the interview will go, so that when you are called upon, you will know what to say for you to be lucky to be among the people that will be picked. And so people bought that form. People bought for their family members, people bought for their wives, for their children. Some people borrowed money to buy that form. At the end of the day, it was a scam, and they couldn't get the money back from the pastor and his wife. It became a problem in the church as of that time. So many people left the church as of that period. Police arrested some people that went to borrow money. They couldn't get their money back from Pastor Abraham and his wife. I'm saying his wife because she was part of what happened. And then, after collecting these people money, there was a day Pastor Abraham's wife, Martina Abraham, called me that she wanted to start a baby shop business. So I bought a ticket for her. She traveled down to Lagos. My husband picked her to and fro the airport, and my sister took her to Lagos market, my elder sister. And she bought so many things and came back to start. She opened the shop. You own people's money that you collected for a grant or for fun. You cannot even pay 1 or 2 people. You are opening a shop to sell baby things. All manner of atrocities that he committed in the church. I remembered one Mommy Precious, is it Mommy Favor now, that she was trying to get her husband's will. She was a widow. She was trying to get her husband's will, and she thought they could help her. They defrauded that woman to the extent that the woman she don't have what to say in terms of what they did to her. Even sometimes people bring cars to the church as a gift. Before you know it, the car is painted. They'll repaint the car. So many things he did. Bought different cars. He rented different apartments. In fact, the day my sister saw Pastor Abraham after several months, and so she said, I see your pastor. If I tell you where I see your pastor, you no go believe. Say your pastor don't dey drive taxi, and in head be like Bob Marley own. In fact, your pastor don't change to ragamuffin. I was like, where did you see him? Because after that incident and so many things, when they refused to pay me my money, I just quietly left the church. I couldn't go to the police station. I don't have any teller to show that I gave them money, because I collected the money at the bus stop, 150,000. I was coming from the bank. I held it and gave it to them. So I was like, even if I see him for altar like this, I go collect my money now, so I don't get the mind. The day I saw Pastor Abraham under AYA bridge, I was only shouting, God have mercy. God have mercy, because there is no way I could meet him at that point with the way he was looking to collect my money. And so if Pastor Abraham is coming out to say the reason he left Dunamis church was because of the fake miracles, I am telling you people that Pastor Abraham Daniels is lying. He is a criminal. He manipulated people. In fact, the highest level of manipulation that you could see in any human being, Pastor Abraham Daniels have it. He can manipulate people. He can sweet talk you. And he got to a stage that he just wants people to worship him. That's the kind of person he was. Then are you talking about the tithe and offering? He won't even allow you to stand to discuss with his accountants of that time. The accountant is always going to the bank every day. Any day you come back, where is the accountant? Then the accountant was one Mr. Sunday, A. Nefu also. And then Albert. Albert was like his personal assistant. You can't even talk to those people. Because if they see you talking to them, they feel you are trying to get information about how the tithe and the offerings were going in that church. They were so manipulative, defrauding people's money. They only told him to go back to head office while they investigate some of the matters that they had, if it were true or not. So they brought someone else in place. I think he was not able to bear that in mind, that he was a pastor before, and then they're taking him back to the media unit to go and start again. I think that was what he could not bear. So he was like, he fell down from grace. So he is a greedy person, and his grievances was because I was a pastor before, and now you're telling me to go into the congregation. It's not possible. You know, when somebody has that pride in him, because it was even shown mercy when they called him back to head office. They gave them accommodation in the head office, in the head church. But he couldn't just stay into the midst of people anymore. He has tasted tithe. And my people said, he has tasted tithe and offering. It's so sweet in his mouth that he cannot let go.
They are all going to same Idowa or whatever TV station for interview. So anybody you see who comes to that TV station interview, they are always against Abraham Daniel. Yes, that's just the thing. Go and watch the ex-pastor that came out, Daniel's wife, ex-wife, and this one now. They're now three. They were all against him because they went to same Idowa, whatever, to speak whatever they know about Dunamis Church and about Abraham Daniel. Well, I know that no matter how it is, everybody must have one or two but, in their life. But the truth is just the truth. I've experienced where a woman was against her husband because of another man that she met in just 2 months. How she lied against her husband that they spent years together, that the man has done a lot for her, because she just met a man that started giving her bigger money, and she started lying against the man they've been together for 8 years. You can see how crazy it is. So that is her story. You can drop a comment. But the wife too was against her ex-husband. But she didn't realize or forgot to say how Abraham Daniel was arrested. Nothing concerned. Well, that's women for you, and that's life. So whatever you think in your mind, drop it in the comment section. Let's interact. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share. We'll bring you everything to you.